force yourself to be consistent. Good evening. I want you to think about something for a moment. Think about all the times you've been motivated, that fire, that burning feeling that pushes you to start something new. Then maybe you decided to get in shape, maybe you picked up a book to learn a new skill, or you told yourself, this is the year I'm going to make something happen. We've all been there. And we've all felt that surge of excitement, that rush of energy when you've made up your mind that things are going to change. But here's the thing, motivation comes and goes, it's fleeting. One day you're on fire, and the next you feel like the flame has gone out. That's life, it happens to all of us. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't isn't motivation, it's consistency. It's the ability to keep going, to keep showing up, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. And that's what I'm here to talk about tonight, forcing yourself to be consistent. Just be real, being consistent isn't glamorous, it's not exciting, it's not always fun. But it's necessary. If you want to achieve anything worthwhile in life, you've got to be consistent. Not sometimes, not when you feel like it, but all the time. Success isn't built in a day, a week, or even a year. Success is built over time, with every small, consistent action you take. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. How can I force myself to be consistent when I don't feel like it? Well, let me tell you something, you don't have to feel like it to do it. Too many people are waiting for motivation to strike, for that perfect moment everything feels right. And if you're waiting for that, you'll be waiting forever. Consistency isn't about feelings, it's about discipline. It's about making a choice day in and day out to do what needs to be done. There's a quote I love, you will never always be motivated, so you must learn to be disciplined. Discipline is the foundation of consistency. It's what gets you out of bed when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m., even though you're tired. And it's what keeps you going to the gym when you'd rather stay on the couch. It's what pushes you to keep working on your dream, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Discipline is the engine that drives consistency. And here's the kicker, discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop. It's a muscle, and just like any other muscle, it gets stronger the more you use it. The more you force yourself to be consistent, the easier it becomes. But that doesn't mean it's easy. No, it takes work, it takes effort, it takes that willingness to push through the discomfort, to ignore the excuses, and to stay the course. Let me tell you a story. There was a time in my life when I was struggling to stay consistent. I had big dreams, big goals, but every time I tried to take a step forward, something would knock me back. Life has a way of doing that, doesn't it? It tests you, it challenges you, and if you're not careful, you'll start to believe that maybe it's not meant to be. But let me tell you something, if you want something bad enough, you can't let anything stop you. You've got to force yourself to keep going no matter what life throws your way. Then I remember getting up every morning early before the sun was even up. I'd lace up my shoes and I'd hit the pavement day after day. There were days when it was hard, when my body was sore, when my mind was telling me to quit. But I kept going. Why? Because I knew that consistency would get me where I wanted to go. I didn't wait for motivation. I didn't wait to feel like it. I forced myself to show up. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to force yourself to show up, even when it's tough, especially when it's tough. Yeah, some of you might be thinking, but what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Let me tell you something about failure. It's part of the process. You're going to fail. You're going to stumble. You're going to stumble. You're going to have days when you feel like giving up. That's normal. But consistency isn't about never failing. It's about getting back up every time you do. It's about not letting failure stop you from moving forward. There's power in persistence. There's power in showing up every single day, even when you're not seeing results. Because here's the thing, results don't come overnight. Success doesn't happen in an instant. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And the only way to win that marathon is to keep putting one foot in front of the other, day after day, step by step. That's how greatness is achieved, through consistent effort, through the grind, through the repetition. Think about all the greats in history, the athletes, the artists, the innovators. Do you think they woke up one day and suddenly had everything they ever wanted? No, they put in the work. They stayed consistent, even when the odds were against them. They didn't rely on motivation to carry them. They relied on discipline, on routine, on the understanding that consistency compounds over time. Now, let me ask you something. What do you want? What are you working towards? Whatever it is, I promise you this, you won't get there by being inconsistent. You won't get there by only putting in effort when you feel like it. You've got to commit to the process. You've got to force yourself to be consistent, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard, because the hard days are the ones that matter most. The hard days are the ones that build character, that build resilience, that build the foundation for your success. So how do you stay consistent? How do you force yourself to keep going when everything in you wants to quit? You do it by remembering why you started. You do it by keeping your eyes on the prize, by focusing on the end goal. Then you do it by breaking it down step by step, day by day. You don't have to conquer the mountain all at once. You just have to keep climbing. And here's the truth. Every step you take, every day you stay consistent, you're getting stronger. You're building momentum. And that momentum is powerful. Once you get going, once you build that habit of consistency, it becomes harder to stop. But you've got to start. You've got to take that first step, and then the next, and next, until consistency becomes your default mode. Until it becomes who you are. I'll leave you with this. The world doesn't reward those who start strong and fade away. The world rewards those who keep going, who stay the course, and force themselves to be consistent, even when it's hard. If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to live the life you've been dreaming of, there's only one thing you need to do: force yourself to be consistent.